Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe Silich, and introduce myself. I've been in the network marketing, direct selling industry for over 35 years. I've been a licensed vendors with several companies, providing presentation materials, flip charts, and things like that for the associates and representatives of those companies to do presentations. And in the midst of doing that, we come up with a system of strategic commitments, things that you need to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to be successful in the industry. And while doing that, we developed a dry erase board to kind of track all this information. But every month you had to wipe it off, and you didn't get to track and see what you did the previous months. So in the midst of that, we developed a hard copy book to do this, to track all this information. So while doing that, we decided, hey, we're going to do an online application that's going to be able to track these commitments, so to help the average person be more successful in the direct selling industry. Well, I named the program as Home Biz Books, and we'll go over these commitments in more detail on a future webinar. But we're going to go over the program tonight. I'm just going to log into the program here real quick, and I'm going to show you guys what we developed here. This is the home page here. Under the home page, we have my profile. I was a member on this program here since November 5th, 2016. You can edit this date and put a future date in if you want to. The reason we did that is if some people, they get involved in the industry and then they, maybe they drop out for a little bit and get back into it again, so they can reset their calendar again. And that tracks all their statistics as you're entering all your information. The good thing about having an online application is it's in a database, and you can keep all this information and you get a lot of statistics out of it. But me being a civil engineer by trade, I like statistics and graphs and things like that, so I kind of build a lot of that into the system so you can track that information. Over here also on my profile, we have our coaching details. You can become a coach to people and help them do their commitments. Accountability partners, that's one of our 12 strategic commitments. You can actually track what your accountability partners are doing, and they can track kind of what you're doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Again, these are the things you need to do to be successful in the industry. Again, being involved in the industry for 35 years, and then working with a lot of leaders, we have developed these 12 different commitments, the things you need to do to be successful. Under our personal details, it's just basically all your information. One thing you want to look at here is your unique ID number. When you sign up, you get a number here. And that's how you cross-reference your activities calendar. Once we get into that, I'll show you kind of how that works there. You can actually see what your partners are doing, and your coach can kind of see what you're doing on a daily and weekly basis. Also here on the home page, we have our goals. Actually, let's go over our contact list. We know as you get people signed up, you want them to build a set of contacts, 100 people that they know. What they can start doing is building a list of the people they know here. Very easy to add a contact here, their name, phone number, and email if you have it. And then kind of your relationship to them, or your blue people, you set of one to three. That's kind of the people you look up to. Your greens are your people look up to you, or your peers basically, and your reds are the people you look up to. So you want to select that there, and then you can sort these people by those keys there. And then you can actually by relation or by their name. So it's real easy to add contacts. On our next version we're working on, we're going to be able to upload from our phone and our social media some of our contacts into this database. And what we want to do is start contacting these people to expose the business to them. Again, one of the key commitments is exposing your business to one or two people a day. Under the program data here, we also have our goals. I've been to hundreds of Super Saturdays while I was selling the presentation material for these companies. And a lot of leaders, a lot of times we've trained on, you want to have a set of goals, the things you want to do to be successful in your business. And it's nice to have that set of goals. And they tell you to, we explain to you want to put them somewhere in your office. Your goals are on, in your mirror, in your bathroom, on your refrigerator. But having your goals is one thing, but then actually tracking this information is another thing. So what we did here in the program, again, having that database as we're entering our information, not only can we put in what we want to do, but underneath here, you can see we have our actuals underneath here, what our actual income is going to be, and these different things here. Again, one of our goals is what income do you hope to achieve? My first 30 days, I wanted to achieve $500 in income. I was at 575. 6 months, I wanted 12,000. I was a little under at 5,000. By 1 year, I wanted 30,000. I'm approaching my 1 year, I'm about 20,000. So I'm a little bit under, but I'm still making some pretty good part-time money. How many hours will you commit to your business? I said I wanted to commit 2 a day, at 2.03. So I'm pretty good right there with my hours. How many exposures do I plan on making? I said 2 a day. I'm a little bit under. I'm at 1.19. And an average, I wanted 60 a month. I'm at 36. Let me show you where you put this information in, where it tracks all this. How many customers do I plan on acquiring as people just want to buy our product? I wanted 4 a week. I'm at 2.35. How many distributors I plan on sponsoring? Representatives are actually going to go out and market the memberships and build an organization. I wanted to try to get about 2 a week. I'm doing pretty good at 1.73. Actually, monthly, I'm at a little bit over my goal there. So you can see all your goals are right here. And what, being an engineer, I like graphs and stuff, so you can actually graph this information and track your all your goals right here, and you can actually visually see where you're at with all what you're doing with your business. And again, people are visual; they like to see these. Yeah, people like to see what they're doing. And as we're tracking all this information, we're also going to be tracking, as one of our commitments is track all your income and expenses. We know by having a home-based business that you're going to be able to write off a lot of things that you're already paying for. We're going to be doing some trainings on that also. Richard, being a CPA, I'm sure he's going to be helping us with a lot of this information. But basically what we did right here is we have our income and expenses. You can see for the month of October, my expenses are all here in a database. It's tracking all that information. So I'm not losing any of these write-offs that you have, that the government gives us for having a home-based business. You know, they treat business owners a little better than the average W-2 employee by giving you some of these different write-offs you have for as you're doing your business. To add an income right here or an expense, you click here. And basically what we did here is we actually put in the expenses that pertain to a home-based business owner. We don't have none of the brick and mortar type expenses. The whole program was built for direct sellers and network marketers. So basically all the expenses we have here are part of what you can write off for your own home-based business. Just one quick here, let's just do our home office. We have a little description here, since a lot of people who get involved in the industry have no idea what they can write off, why they can write it off, how much they can write off, or any of this stuff. So we've built this in here into the program. Well, again, we're going to be doing some trainings on this. So not only they can be able to read how they can write things off here and why, but they're also going to be able, we're going to be able to do some detailed trainings on that so they can understand the whole concept of owning a home-based business. We have a calculator here for the different expenses that need calculation. So I'm going to hit my home office calculator. And let's say your home is 2,300 square feet, your office is 375 square feet. We know right there, calculation, that we can write off 16.3% of our house payment or rent for our home office. Let's say our house payment is $1,650. So right there, it tells you exactly how much you can write off every month for your home office. Click on a date you paid your rent, your mortgage payment, hit save. It puts that information right out into the system right there, so you don't miss any of these expenses. Again, we have put our income in here. We got a $500 check this week. We cycled once. We got from a direct deposit into our pay card, and we got paid on Friday. Hit save. That puts that information right out in the system. Again, these can be edited here very easily. If you need to delete an expense or do something like that, it's very easy to do that right here as you're working the business. So basically, this part right here is where you put like your daily, weekly, monthly expenses in here. Now your mileage is all that stuff. I'm going to show you where you put that in as we move over into the calendar, which we're going to get into right now. Okay, the activities calendar. This is basically what we used when we had the dry erase board. Again, we had a dry erase board to track all this information. But again, I sold hundreds of these things to the reps of these different companies I worked with, and we used to track this information. But every month we had to dry erase off. The hard copy book that we used, it was a 6-month book that worked real well, and I had a lot of people that used that book to track this information. But again, it was hard to get this information, the statistics and stuff out of it because you had to calculate it kind of yourself. Building an application like this, everything's in a database. You can just pull this information out once you get it into the database. On the calendar here, our legend here, our green check mark is our objective was completed on time. The yellow caution symbol is we have a follow-up that is required. The red X, we have a few of those, is our objective was not completed. And then on the right-hand side is our weekly test. Basically, here's our daily test. Here's our legend. We always train that, 2 exposures a day and a weekly meeting, 2 exposures a day, weekly meeting. And we know a lot of people, part-time, they can't do, it's hard to do 2 a day, but you try to do at least 1 or 2 exposures into your business a day. And that's the key to building a network marketing business, is consistency. It's not, doing 5 exposures on Sunday and then, take it off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The more consistent you are in your business, the better and quicker you're going to build it and the more success you're going to have. So basically what we want to do is track and try to do at least 1 or 2 exposures a day. You're going to miss some days. If I go back to September here, I actually had some surgery that was done, so I did miss some time here. I had to take a little bit of time off, but then I got back into it here. So we do have some red X's here where I didn't complete some of my objectives. I have a lot of green check marks where I did. So that's how we track that. On the right-hand side is our weekly conference call, weekly meeting, and our long-distance exposure. You want to build, one of our commitments is you build long distance outside of your backyard in case you have some problems in your hometown. At least your business is still moving forward. Like a hurricane come down into Florida. One of our representatives are in Florida, and she had a couple weeks off, no electricity for a few days, things like that. If you're building outside of your backyard, at least your businesses keep moving forward while you're you're running into some troubles. Even like me here, where I had to take some time off for surgery, my business was still building because I had a lot more people outside that was building my business. You go back to October and you click on the 11th, today's date. Here's where you put in your personal development. You want to do personal development. We know how important that is to be successful in your business. You have to develop yourself. There's a lot of personal development stuff out there, books, CDs, online stuff that you can purchase pretty cheap to keep developing yourself, building your business. Click on here, you put in, I like the Slight Edge. It's one of my favorite books. So you put in that there. I read 10 pages of Slight Edge today. I hit save on that, and you can see it automatically puts that green check mark in right there. How many hours did I work today? Well, I worked on my business. I did a presentation at lunchtime. I did my read my 10 pages, so I worked about an hour and a half. And again, when you put this information here, and this is an estimate, you're not going to be perfect with this time, but you got an estimate of how many hours you worked your business, and all this information is going back to that goals page and tracking how many hours you worked and all that stuff there. My daily exposure today, like I said, I sat down with guy's name was Bill, the guy that works down over the hill here. And you have to put in his number. You'll put in a number here. And then how you exposed him. I sat down with a flip chart. And we're going to go over the flip chart next week in real detail. We put together a 12-page presentation flip chart. And that's one of the things I used to sell whenever I did presentation materials. And we did a lot of trainings. Flip chart is one of the best ways. If you're sitting down with somebody, 15 minutes, they say, I got something I want to show you. It's going to be about 15 minutes. You may or may not be interested. That kind of takes the pressure off them. You sit down with a flip chart, go over it real quick. And it's real simple to do an exposure that way and pique somebody's interest. And follow-up date. We know a lot of times when people sit down with you, They say, hey, let me look at it, talk to my wife, let me do a little research. And, say, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll call you back on Friday. Agree to a time. And you can actually put down the best time to call them if you want to put that down at 7 o'clock. And again, I use the flip chart to do that. Hit save. And you can see automatically puts the green check mark in there for me. So now I did my one of my exposures for today. So right there now, as we got that exposure in there, we can right here quickly add our miles. So we have a calculator for all this. I drive 24 miles here to work, so I calculated. I can write off $12.84. So right there, you don't miss none of these deductions. I know a lot of people have been involved in the industry, and they've done everything they were supposed to. They were making money. They were going to the meetings, but they weren't tracking it as close as they should have been. And of course, the IRS audited them, and they got into some trouble because they didn't have good tracking of their business and their different expenses. So as you're doing an exposure right there, with this right here, you can't forget to put down. I sat down again at lunchtime. I bought a lunch. It came to $23. It's safe. And it puts that information right there and there for you, and it totals it up and puts it into the database and your expenses for the month. So that way you don't miss none of the expenses. Your weekly meetings, the same thing. You put your meeting location. You can put some notes in here, what kind of meeting it was. You hit save. Again, you go put your expenses in. So you're tracking all that information. And as you do that, your little green M's and C's and L's come up here as you're filling this in. Your conference calls, and again, your national exposures or your international exposures once we go international with the business. So it's basically tracking all that information there. So you have a visual calendar of what you're doing. You can pop back different months, like I said. Again, I missed some time because I had that surgery. I had to take some serious time off. But you can go back months and kind of see where you're doing, where you're missing things. It's a visual thing to keep track of all your exposures and your commitments and what you're supposed to be doing to be successful in the industry. Now, I could talk about, we have accountability partners. Now, I want to make sure I'm working with them close, and I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm, helping them do what they're supposed to be doing if they get off track. I have my wife here. Now, she ain't doing nothing, as you can see, so we have to get on her and say, listen, Patty, you have to get on track here. What's going on? Can we help you? Are you serious about the business? What's your kind of your goals? What do you want to do with this? So you can basically, as you work with workout partners, you can actually then see exactly what they're doing with their business. If they do stuff, they actually have some green mark, check marks, and some cautions of what needs done in their business also. So you can then visually see what they're doing. And back on that, under that profile under the home page here, that's where you cross-reference there, right there. So just put in their unique ID number. They put in your unique ID number, and you cross-reference that information there. So you can actually see here now with this system, you're going to be able to track all this information in one easy system. There's other systems out there that will track your income and expenses. There's another one that you put your goals in and kind of try to track those. There's another one that's for your contacts. There's another one for different reports and things like that. But there's nothing tied. We tied all this together for the home-based business owner. It's key to the home-based business owner. Let's go back to the home. Right here, we have a list of the strategic commitments. You can kind of look at all these, the different things you need to do to be successful, reason why you're building your business goals, using your company's products. Of course, we know we're doing that. We're buying our gold and silver. Continue building your prospect list, your controlled exposures a day. So here's all the commitments that you need to do to be successful. Your personal development, accountability partner, it's conference calls. These are all the things by being, we've been involved in this industry for 30 years. we know that these are all the things you need to do on a daily and weekly basis to be successful in your business. Back to the activities calendar again up here. As you cross-reference, you're going to have your workout partners here. Then anybody that's made you a coach and you're coaching them, you're going to be able to see their calendar. Again, when you hit their calendar, you can only see their calendar. You can't see any of their other information. We don't want you to be able to go in there and see who they're contacting and their contacts and all that stuff. We basically want to see their calendar to make sure they're doing what they need to do to be successful in the business. We go over to the reports page. Again, being an engineer, I like statistics and graphs and things like that. So right here, my daily exposures. This month I have 18 exposures. I'm at 29% of my month's commitment. Total to date, I have 388 daily exposures. I'm at 57% of my commitment. And again, I have a graph here showing exactly what I'm doing within the business, and some pie charts here also. Conference calls, same thing, different graphs, some different pie charts and graph charts to show you where you're at with the business. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do to be successful. Your weekly meetings, all that information's here. And your national and international exposures, you have all that right here. When you know how many of those you're making to date and part of your commitment. And the other big thing that we used to train on is your ratios. We know that if you sign up, if you sit down, peak interest to 10 people, how many people you're going to get signed up as customers, how many you're going to get signed up as actual representatives or distributors. That was one of the things we used to train on a lot. And again, tracking that, it was always the difficult part for us. We sit down with 10 people, okay, we signed up one, signed up two. But as you're working the system here, we actually get our exposure, sign-ups for exposures right here. So total to date, I have 404 exposures that I've talked to, people I've talked to. I've signed up 84 distributors, or 21%, and 114 customers, or 28%. So right here, this is telling me for every 10 people I talk to, about 2 people are going to sign up as distributors, and about 3 are going to sign up as customers. So it's tracking all that information right there. So I know I have to talk to 10 more people, about 10 people, to get 2 signups. It's real simple to know that then. That way people, as they're using this system, once they get to 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 exposures, then they're going to get their ratio. How many people they have to talk to sign up some distributors and customers. Kind of that doesn't, if we train them properly, then we can train them not to get discouraged whenever you have 3 people, 4 people in a row saying no. Well, we know that average is going to be, 2 signups per every 10 people you talk to. So we can kind of then get that ratio and keep them encouraged to keep on going out there and exposing the business and talking to people. Also under reports down here, we have our daily exposure report. You can actually then click on this and see everybody that you talk to. If you click on the plus sign, you can see how you expose them. Ed here, he was on an online webinar. Right now he hasn't signed up. No sign up at this time. You can actually then see sign-ups as they sign up over here. Back to other reports, I'm going to show you where that comes into play. Our income and expenses, that's another critical one here. So right now in October, here's all my expenses and then my income right here for this business. So I can then visually see and then have a record of everything here. So if the IRS comes to me, we have a record of all the expenses that we've created by doing our business. And the other good thing about the system is we have our prospects in play report. We know at any given time, we've done a lot of trainings on that also, that at any given time, you want to have at least 10 prospects that are in the kind of what we train on the baseball diamond. You peak interest, go to second base, third party call, get them to a meeting, third base, maybe get them to a webinar or a regional event or Super Saturday, and then around home where they have to make, kind of make a decision what they want to do. So you want to have about 10 prospects in play at any given time. Right now I have 18, so I have a little bit more. I have to kind of get followed up with these people. So finally, I say I get to with Donna here. You click on Donna, and then her follow-up task is going to come up. Follow-up details here. Donna, I exposed her on October 1st. I finally got hold of her from an online webinar. I talked to her. What do you want to do here with the business? You want to get involved? And right now, if they say, yeah, I'm going to get involved, you click on distributor, and again, that tracks all that information on your ratios, all that information over on your goal sheet, and it tracks that all in the system. So you have all that in the database, and you have all the statistics coming out of the system. She just wants to become a customer, membership by membership. Click on that. Then what we do is we want to, what we do is drip on people. If they say, yeah, I'm not interested now, and you say, man, maybe I'll give you a call in a couple of months. Maybe at that point, maybe something may happen. So you kind of want to drip on people. If they say no thanks right now, you can say, I'll call you in a few months. You can then schedule a follow-up. Go out to maybe the end of January, hit save. And what Donna did, then go back to your reports here and show the report. And now we're only down to 17. So Donna dropped out of there, but on January 31st, she'll pop back up in. So you can kind of re-expose her, give her a call, tell her how the business is going. Some people, say they're busy at that time. They have their kids' baseball. They're really busy at work. Different things are, people's lives are busy, So sometimes at that particular time, they may not be interested. But if you say to them, hey, let me call you in a few months, tell you how things are going. 90% of the time, they say, yeah, give me a call. And so you put them in the system. A lot of times, again, back in the day before we had the system, you'd write it down somewhere in your journal, in your book, you tracked all this information. That kind of got messy and got lost. So with the system here, as you put that information in, they'll pop up again in a couple of months, and you can re-expose them into the business, see what they're doing, and see if at that point they may be interested. We've dripped on people for 6 months, a year, and things happen. Maybe they lost their job, and kids got older or something. And they, you know what? Let me take a look at that again. And we've had people sign up that we've exposed previously that actually have come on board and then started working the business. So it's good to do that with people that you expose because I've already seen the business. I know what it's about. So it's pretty easy to go back to them and say, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what we're doing. Here's the money we're making. And, kind of keep them in the loop. Go back up to the reports page. Again, we have all these different reports. Being an engineer, I like reports. You can hide these graphs, open them up. So basically that's we have some system tutorials to do some trainings. You click on that. If you go out here, we have some training set up for you on how to use the system, which work real well. We're going to be developing a few more trainings as we move forward. We'll be doing some trainings on the strategic commitments, getting that set up for everybody to train them on what you need to do again on your daily, weekly, monthly basis to be successful. And then getting people using the system here. We made it so it's not real cumbersome, not real hard to use. It's real simple. You can put this information in a couple minutes a day. It doesn't take long. The other key is you want to train these people that now having a business, a home-based business, that you don't. You have a lot of write-offs. You have a lot of different things you can do to help you support your business. To help you even make more money and save more money as you're building this thing. So that's basically the whole system there. Again, we're going to be doing a lot of the trainings and different things like that in the future here as we're building this thing. So hopefully you guys will get on board. Right now, I talked about the flip chart. We'll be going over that next week. What we have going on now is a special. If you sign up for the Home Biz books, it's $17.95 a month. We made it inexpensive. Again, that's a write-off. It's $17.95 a month. If you sign up with us and start using the system, me and Richard become your coach, your accountability partner. We're going to start working together as a team. What we've done in the past is we've built 4 to 6 people as accountability partners as people get involved. And then if we can help each other, then be successful in the business. Because you really need some support, especially for new people that get involved in the industry. What happens is, when they get involved, they don't get the support that they need. They spend some money. They work for a couple of weeks, maybe, or a month. They maybe go do 5 or 6 presentations or get a couple people on a webinar. They don't have a whole lot of success. They don't have the support, and then they quit. And when they do that, what happens is they say the whole industry is terrible. You know, if somebody shows them something else, another company or something, you know, they badmouth, that doesn't work. It's a pyramid scheme. It's you're wasting your time and money, because they didn't get the support that they need to help them be successful. So as we sign people up and we find people that really want to work it, what we have to do is make sure we help them become successful. The ways we're going to do that is, again, training them on the benefits of having a home-based business with expenses, train them on how to use a flip chart, how to sit down and present to people, train them how to get on webinars, train them about the commitments, what they need to do to be successful. And we've always trained people that once you get involved, it's like when you see them putting up a building. If you look at a city, they're putting up a building, they're down there in that hole for like 3 months. Well, they're building the foundation of the business. For your first 3 months of being in your own home-based business, you're building your foundations. As they build that foundation, it takes 3 months. They're down there, you wonder what they're doing. Same thing with your business. All of a sudden, month 3 to 6, boom, the building goes up. Same thing with a home-based business. It takes you 3 months to build a foundation. You're learning the presentation. You're learning about the company. You're learning how, you're doing your personal development. You're learning that. So the first 3 months, 6 months, a year is your development process. And then after that, boom, it explodes. So we have to keep them involved for that 3 to 6 months, 1 year. We always train, hey, stick with it for a year, reevaluate where you're at. And then after that, you can, like I said, reevaluate and see where you're at with your business. So that's basically what we do, but we need to give them the support. Then we say we're recruiting people, but we're basically sponsoring people. When you sponsor somebody, you have to take them under your wing and train them what they need to do to be successful. So right now, again, if we have a sign up for a free flip chart. If you go to the http://us.homebizbooks.com/BLM, that BLM tracks everything, so I can send you a free flip chart. You sign up, you'll get a free flip chart for signing up, and then again, we're going to be going over the flip chart next week, and then we'll be doing some trainings on the commitments probably the following week, what you needed to do to be successful in the business. Again, my name is Joe Silich. I've been in the industry for over 35 years. I'm working close with Richard. I signed up with 7K medals a while back, and we're going to get ready to really rock this thing and get going with it. So if you have any questions, just go to our contact page. My number's back there. Give me a call at any time. If you want me to do presentations for your team, once you get your team going, I'll be more than glad to do that and help them and train them on these different aspects of being successful in the business. Again, I'd like to thank you guys for being on board, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Joe. That was wonderful. I want to put a little plug in for Home Biz Books. I was a CPA working for the home-based business industry, distributors for the last 30 years. I can tell you that the successful ones have programs like this. And this is the most comprehensive one that I've seen. And at $17.95 tax-deductible dollars per month, it's also the most cost-effective one that I've seen. Now, if you're just doing this as a hobby, you don't care if you make any money, maybe you're just buying silver and gold at cost, then maybe you don't need this. But if you're doing this as a business and actually want to make money, well, there's a reason that people make money in businesses, and it's because they're business people. And there's a reason a lot of people don't make money in network marketing, because they're not acting like a business. They're not treating their business like a business. So yeah, I can't emphasize the need of things like this enough. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate him being on the team, bringing his experience. and this program to the team, and appreciate all of your time tonight. Now, this is going to be recorded, so we'll be able to watch it later on. I'll get it to the rest of the team that weren't able to make it tonight. So again, thanks everybody, and thank you, Joe.